The recent bushfire crisis has been the worst on record, with the state's south coast among the hardest hit. Across the region, community clubs have played a vital role in the emergency response, sheltering and feeding thousands of displaced residents.
You feel like you're not on the south coast, you feel like you're sort of end of the earth, to be really quite honest.
It's like Armageddon, these red ambers and the sky just changed to a dark red, and the heat, I've never experienced anything like it before.
I got a phone call from our chef at 5 a.m. in the morning, and he said, "Robbie, you need to open up the club. Everyone's evacuating Cobargo." And he said, "I'm standing on my front steps and all I can see is wall of flames." Flew down here, opened up the doors, and then within 20 minutes we would have had estimated probably 200 people inside the club. The car park was chock-a-block full of cars. We had over 2,500 people come through that front door.
We became an evacuation centre out of nothing. We just started to fill up with people turning up here, and we'd done everything we could. There was no communications, there was no phones, nothing working. A lot of people were just, beside themselves. They didn't know what they had.
We weren't an official evacuation centre, but we're the hub of the community. Automatically, people just evacuated straight here to the club, knowing that, we'd look after them here and we'd give them shelter and food and drinks, and we'll provide breakfast, lunch and dinner, not only for the people that evacuated to the club, but members of the community.
They were so good to us. They opened the door, they gave us a hug, but we didn't know what's going on. I walked out a couple times and I just said, "This is unreal, we're all going to go." It was just something I wish we never ever have to go through again.
There was a lot of people arriving in the club, traumatised, stressed and struggling to breathe. There were burn victims, people who had lost everything, people who had escaped by the skin of their teeth. As you walked through the rooms, there were scenes that you wouldn't expect to see in a holiday resort town. At one point we had approximately 1,000 people sleeping in the club. Every room in the club had beds. We had people sleeping on chairs, but it was a safe and comfortable haven compared to what they were facing at home. Not only did we provide great facilities, we provide a caring and comfortable environment, and I think that was really important.
You just see the sense of relief on their face when they were able to come into the club and find a comfortable area. The official evacuation centre over the road is a basketball court. A lot of them just needed someone to talk to, a shoulder to cry on. Some of my staff lost their houses with everything but the clothes on their back. So yeah, very, very emotional, very raw, and it's still there.
I called 3 of my board of directors, and without hesitation they were here, and our staff as well as a lot of volunteers that virtually come through the door and said, "We're here, we can help, what would you like?" They worked their butts off. A lot of them were here 24 hours without sleep.
The RFS commandeered our whole clubhouse on the 2nd of January. And they basically controlled the whole event for the next 3 days.
It was a massive operation. Despite some people being uncomfortable, nobody complained. It was just such a positive atmosphere in here during it. It was a difficult time for a lot of people, but I think coming together helped.
Without this club, I don't know where we would have gone or what we would have done, along with all the other people who were here. The management and the staff of this club were so busy and working such long hours, but they were doing it so cheerfully. It just made you feel so secure and so welcome. I'll remember that forever.
They've opened up their auditorium to the recovery centre. It's not to grab headlines, they really do care.
I think they've had over 1,000 people through today alone, so the queue is out the door for people wanting to get help, and I think that shows the amount of help that's required.
The club was really affected significantly. The town has been affected significantly, and the whole region has, and the ongoing financial effects of people losing jobs and leaving the area, it'll be significant.
The groups of clubs that ring up and offer you the support is incredible, but that epitomises what clubs are all about. It's about the community, and it's about helping each other out.
When we see people coming in, utilising the club as a shelter or as a refuge or just somewhere to meet up with friends and talk about what's going on, there's no dollar value on that sort of stuff.
This is the beauty of living in a small community. When situations like this arise, everybody just comes to the fore.
We've actually been evacuated to town 5 times now in the last 34 days. I call this home now, and Misty Bay is just my weekender.
The fireys would come in here at 9 o'clock at night, black and exhausted, and people were giving them standing ovations. They're walking in, and that just gives you an idea of what our community's like.
The club was certainly something that opened my eyes to how much community spirit really was in the town. Everyone was appreciative if you were helping, and the people that were able to do it, they were helping as much as they could.
I only saw the best in people here, so it's absolutely wonderful to be able to be reassured of strong community service and people caring for one another.
I felt like I mattered. The club itself has over 11,000 members. I'm just one, but I felt important.
I think it's very easy to focus on the negatives, but what we saw through that period was just how good this industry is and what role this industry plays in the community. This town wouldn't have known what to do if it wasn't for the club industry being here to provide those facilities. And it's a strong, robust, caring industry, and we saw it at its best.
I can't be prouder of my staff and my team, the people in the community that have offered their services, the thank you emails we're constantly getting, cards just to say thank you. Yeah, it's good.
It actually wasn't feel like club. It felt like home. It's just hard to describe. I just don't know how to thank these people here. We will never ever forget in our life.
If you ask me what makes us really different, I'll tell you it's our people every time. But for you to believe me, I challenge you to meet one of our member service managers at your local club, pick up the phone, or come into our head office here and be the judge of that yourself. With Club Plus Super, you're not just part of a super fund, you're a member of our club. So wherever your career takes you, we're your club for good.